Namaste. My guest today is Siddharth Rao, a journalist. Almost of all the family members of Siddharth were COVID affected. Siddharth was a big help in the family during the tough time. Not only did Siddharth help his family members, but he helped many people outside the family. His experience helping his family members helped him lend a helping hand to many people suffering from COVID disease. Now let us hear from Siddharth his experiences from himself. Now Siddharth.
Hi, and I want to talk about my COVID experience because I looked at it in first hand. I didn't experience it myself, but every family member of mine was COVID positive, and this is the house where everybody was positive, and I live right next door. So let me first start off with how the initial days were. This was around the last week of June and the first week of July, when everybody in the family started showing symptoms one after the other. And we didn't realize that it could be COVID. In fact, we thought it was just another viral fever or some seasonal allergies were kicking in people. You know, we were assuming a lot of things because all of us have, whenever we see something like this, all of us have this confidence that, okay, it won't come to us, right? So the same thing was with us. And once we got the testing done, it was obvious that everybody was positive, and as expected, everybody was positive except me alone in the house. And in that time period, it was almost as if we were facing a battle of sorts, because as I said, I still live next door, and I was coming to this house to give my father and another uncle injections whenever necessary as directed by our family doctor. And every single time I was entering the house, I was wearing a PPE kit, personal protective equipment kit, outside the house, and loading the syringe while sitting in my car outside the house, and then entering the house. And then even every single time I entered the house, it was only for a couple of minutes, not more than that. So I had to take that amount of care to ensure that I stayed negative, because everyone else was positive. And throughout the first few days, we were handling it like this. And one advantage that we had was our house was thoroughly equipped beforehand. We had nebulizers at home and different sorts of medications at home, and we had access to a medical shop which was delivering us medicines whenever we wanted. So we were, we were thoroughly equipped, and we were fully armed and armored against the situation. But still, we had to face a lot. So after that, after the initial phase, and when the testing was done, and everybody was tested positive, and we were treating people, and so there came a situation where one of my family members actually needed oxygen, and that person already had existing lung issues, but then those issues were worsened and aggravated by COVID. And though we were able to procure an oxygen cylinder at home, it was still not enough, as in the next couple of days the person's situation worsened. Here there's a point that I'd like to specifically mention. So what happened is, whenever somebody in the family needed an injection or immediately needed a medication or something like that, they were calling my family doctor and explaining their problem to the doctor. The doctor was taking his time, which naturally happens, to process and understand what exactly the problem was, and then he was calling me and communicating it to me. So by the time all this happened, and I came from there to wear the PPE and get inside the house and administer the injection or something to the family member which required it, there was a gap of 15 to 20 minutes every single time. This should be a lesson for everybody. As much as possible, minimize that time, and if anything, do not let any family member of yours come to a stage where they need hospitalization in the last minute. Here I tell you to notice notice the symptoms and the signs of the person's worsening and admit the person as early as possible when you notice the signs. We managed to secure a bed in the hospital, and my dad was also admitted in the hospital. So there were these two family members admitted in the hospitals. My uncle's son was handling my uncle, and I was handling my father's hospitalization. And here another important thing that I want to mention is that I was roaming around the entire hospital for various purposes. I had to deal with the admin, I had to deal with security, this, that, whatever. But I made sure that I was wearing an N95 mask and a face shield and gloves, and I took that amount of precaution. I took that one extra step every single instance, and that is the only reason that I have been negative so far. While my uncle and my dad were admitted in the hospital, and thankfully during that time no one else in the house showed any symptoms of worsening. They were on the path to recovery, if anything, but again their respective existing conditions were worsened by COVID, but then none of them were as critical as those two who were admitted in the hospital were. And after that, it was also during that time that my uncle passed away. So that day we discharged my father from the hospital because he was almost recovered. It was just a day or so left. And here again I'll tell you something that is I don't know if it's relevant here or not, but if a COVID death happens, even the funeral is very difficult to manage. Please keep note of this. Even a funeral is very difficult to manage. And I will, again, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I want to tell you that if you or anybody else in your family, as morbid as this sounds, if there's a death in the family and you need any assistance related to the funeral and the last rites, please approach me. I will be there without any hesitation. Now that apart, now I'll talk about, so I just told you about the entire history of COVID and how it passed on in my family and how a family member passed away and all. And now I'll speak about how and what I have been doing after the COVID crisis in the family. So, one more point. There is this drug called Remdesivir. One of my family members needed that drug. Now, why I'm telling this point is that there are many medications which are necessary for COVID, but this Remdesivir is one drug that is very difficult to procure, and it is being black marketed a lot in the city. Not just in the city, in fact in the entire country, based on what I have been reading. That is one thing. That is the reason I specifically wanted to mention that. But after that, after the COVID crisis in the family was over, I created a WhatsApp group called Combat COVID on my phone, and I added just about 5 or 10 people that I know my closest friends who are connected in a certain manner in the city. And that group, in the last 1 month that it has been active, has now reached a count of about 100 people. And through that group, it's a COVID resource group basically. Through that group, I have enabled testing for hundreds of people in Hyderabad, and I have enabled hospitalization for several other people. And the people that I joined in that group and the people that they joined in that group, they added to the group, have all been very cooperative. And this should serve as an example of how you yourself, with just a smartphone in your hand, with your WhatsApp and with your Facebook in your hand, can actually help save lives. And through that group, I saw a lot of different kinds of cases. Some people were experiencing stomach related issues with COVID. Some people's blood sugar levels were shooting up with COVID. Some people were not getting any symptoms though they were positive. Some people were completely normal, but suddenly their oxygen levels dropped and they had to be put on the ventilator. And through all this, we also realized one thing, that there is extensive misinformation about COVID on WhatsApp groups and on social media. In fact, there was a point when I myself was misinformed about certain things when it came to the high resolution CT scan, HRCT of the chest. I myself was misinformed that if there is something called ground glass imaging shown on the report, it means it is positive. But that is not the case. There are other parameters to it as well. So here what I want to tell you is, do not go by any one person's words. Do not go by my words. Do not go by what your friend sends you on WhatsApp. And definitely do not go by what goes on in your family WhatsApp groups. Right? There's a lot of misinformation there. Do your own research, talk to medical professionals, and also educate yourself and educate others if you can. You can utilize social media for that, you can utilize whichever ways you want to, but make sure you are cleared of misinformation yourself and then you educate others also. And another major point that I want to talk here is that I don't know how we managed to do this, but all of us as a society, as a people of a country, we have successfully managed to stigmatize respiratory disease. This is not an STD. Even STDs should not be stigmatized against. So if your neighbor has COVID, or if you see somebody wearing a PPE kit entering your neighbor's house to perform testing on them, do not make an issue out of it and do not go fight with them. Understand that they are taking the right step by getting tested, and understand that they are doing it for your benefit. So do not stigmatize it. Do not stigmatize your neighbors. If anything, you go to their houses, call them up, ask them from the outside if they require any assistance. And whatever assistance that they need, please provide them, because if they have to be isolated, they cannot even get themselves water to drink, right? So make sure you are there lending a hand. Your hand should not be a palm that is stopping. It should be a hand that is lending help. Apart from this, there's one more thing which I want to specifically talk about. That is the black marketing of plasma. So as far as my knowledge goes, there is this medical procedure called plasmapheresis, where they take the plasma of a person who has recovered from COVID, and then they give it to a person who is suffering from COVID. So in that scenario, the blood type has to match, or there is some medical thing relevant to the blood type. And what is happening is that a lot of people, they are selling this plasma on the black market, and people are charging lakhs for something that should be donated. The problem here is, I will not blame the ones who are selling plasma. I will blame the ones who are buying it, because they are the ones who created a market for it. They are the ones who created a market that did not exist before. Nobody sells blood. Everybody donates blood. The same way, if you are eligible to donate plasma, please donate it. And if you require plasma, please don't offer money for the person who's donating it. Do not create a market for it. It has already been created. Do not add to it. If you stop buying it and if you stop selling it, it'll help save lives. Because as of now, it is one of the things that seems to be working, because even the medical professionals, they are also not sure. They are also not 100% sure whether plasmapheresis works or not. But in most cases, it is working. So that is the reason. Ensure that there is no black marketing of plasma. And I want to sum it up by talking about what all can we do. First things first, watch out for any symptom of COVID. It can be as banal as a sneeze, or it can be as small as a headache, or it can be some gastric issue also, because these days there are also people who are not experiencing any lung or other respiratory issue, but are experiencing stomach related issues due to COVID. So know the signs, educate yourself on what the signs of COVID are, and if you see a person in the family experiencing any of the signs or symptoms, immediately isolate them in one room and get everybody in the house tested. Don't be under the impression that only that person is showing signs, so I'll get them tested, because that person, till the moment that they showed a symptom, they were sitting right next to you, eating on the same dining table as you, talking, sitting next to you, hugging you, whatever it is. So ensure that everybody who that person has been in contact with is tested. It is just a question of the money that you pay for testing. It's nothing more than that. So get tested and be sure. And once somebody is tested for positive for COVID, ensure that the proper steps are taken. Educate yourself on the proper steps to be taken. Ensure that those are taken, and ensure that your house is also equipped with the right kind of things. Like a pulse oximeter is as necessary as a fan in the house right now, in every house. This is what I feel, because based on what I read and based on what I saw in my own family, there is something called happy hypoxia, where the person is normal but suddenly the oxygen levels drop below a critical point, and then they might reach a point of no return. So equip the house, educate yourself, spot the signs in the beginning itself, get tested, get every person who is in contact with the symptomatic person tested, and understand that if you are physically strong, there's also a very high chance of you being asymptomatically positive. And do not create a stigma around it, and do not spread misinformation on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth, for vividly explaining your experiences, and thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done it. Please click on that subscribe button below. After that, please click on the bell icon alongside to get the notifications as and when I upload a fresh video to this channel. Thank you.